Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. It is Friday. I had a video planned for today about a weird or interesting Pacific baseball card from many years ago. But I woke up this morning to a text from my friend Oliver with a story that I couldn't resist jumping right to. It's a pre-war, or I guess during war, vintage story. So we're going to go on to that today. But I do want to show my pickup today. I got a Rafael Palmeiro Diamond Kings. This is the 91. Really happy with this. I don't think Palmeiro will ever go in the Hall of Fame, but he had a Hall of Fame career, so he goes in my want list for the Donruss Diamond Kings collection and add that to my personal collection. So this morning, this text from Oliver is a link to Sports Collectors Daily. It is about a 75-year-old man who preferred to stay anonymous for this story, who was a retired history teacher, and he is also a weekend warrior, as he calls himself, and he goes around every weekend around Pittsburgh and goes to antique stores, and he goes to estate sales, and he tries to find interesting things that he might be able to keep or sell himself. It's an interesting story. I think it's a fairly common one. What he found, though, is not very common. So on this day, his wife said, hey, why don't we go to this estate sale 5 miles away? And remember, he's 75 years old and he doesn't really want to go. And his wife is also a collector, and she convinces him, it's only 5 miles away, let's go see what they've got. So they go. It's an old abandoned building in the Mill District near Pittsburgh. And there's like a lot of clothing, and there's not much else in the normal area where everybody is looking through things. And so he asks the organizer, do you have anything that's really old? And they say, yeah, why don't you go downstairs and see? So he goes downstairs, and there's really nothing down there either, but he finds a room with no light in it, so it's really dark. And he pulls out a flashlight. I don't know if it's his phone flashlight or they had a flashlight somewhere. Pulls out a flashlight and he starts looking around and he picking things out that he is interested in, like vintage clocks and stuff like that. And he's pulling things out, gathering things that he wants to buy. And then on the bottom shelf of a bookshelf, there's a box. And in the box he sees strips of old uncut baseball cards. And he's not sure that they're real. They're in great condition, so he just picks them up and he takes them and he buys them and he gets them home, and he starts looking through them and he's like, boy, these look really good. They look really old. They look legit. Does some research and discovers Robert Edwards Auctions, and he messages them and he emails them or texts them pictures of these strip cards, and they drive out to him or fly out to him and say, yeah, these are legit, let's put them up for auction. And he agrees, obviously. So 1941, it's 1941 play ball cards. And 41, I think, was the third year of the play ball series. The first 2 years were black and white. 41 was the first year where they were colored. They were vibrant colors. It's a great set. So these are 8-card strips. There's never been any authenticated 8-card strips. There have been authenticated 4-card strips, but never anything other than 4 cards. And there's actually not even a holder currently for 8-card strips. So if you're going to go and buy these on Robert Edwards Auctions, you have to prepare to wait if you want to get these authenticated or graded by PSA. And there were hundreds of these strips. Hundreds of them. It's pretty crazy. They've got all the great cards, the great players. There's Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams, Pee Wee Reese, and of course I'm putting up pictures of the individual cards here because it's tough to put the strips and have you see the players I want you to see. There's Jimmy Fox, Mel Ott, Hank Greenberg, you name it. All the Hall of Famers are there. So you're talking, if there's hundreds, and we know that there are hundreds, it's at minimum of 800 cards from 1941 play ball. The collector who bought these, the older gentleman, believes that these cards were given out in a candy store as a giveaway to get kids excited about the upcoming release of these cards. And based on the things that he found in this room, he believed that it was from like an old mom and pop general store. It looked like they just shut the store down and moved everything into storage. So lucky him. These were actually, the 1941 set were the last cards printed for baseball, I think in 7 years. I think 1941, there were no cards again until 1948 due to the paper shortage. Correct me if I'm wrong, let me know in comments, but I think 41 play ball, and then there was a 7-year gap until 1948. So Robert Edwards Auctions has these on their auction right now, or some of them. They're being broken up, so some of them go in this auction and then more in future auctions. It's like the top strips. They're doing auctions with 5 strips of 8, starting at $1,000, and then they also have some that are 50 strips of 8, so 400 cards. The auction just started today, so prices are still low. You see the first one I put a screenshot of, price was only at $1,300. It's going to go for a lot more than that, as you might imagine. There is no comp though. You know, the Ted Williams by itself in a high grade is going to go for many, many thousands of dollars. All of these Hall of Famers, DiMaggio, many, many thousands of dollars in high grade. Even mid grade, they're very, very expensive. So the rarity of the strips that you can just frame, I guess, or I don't know what you would do with strips. You'd have to get them authenticated, hopefully. So that's what I've got. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I'm putting out 3 to 4 videos a week. Baseball card stories, attic finds, kind of like this. I love this stuff. Also talking about the industry, what's happening in the industry. I'm going to a card show on Sunday, doing some card grading stuff. All right, that's it. Thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great weekend.